We have a host here besides you, Rich.
Yeah, Chris is here and he's gonna make me the host and leave once.
You're all set on both.
Okay, thank you.
See you, Chris.
Welcome to the February 18th meeting of the Capital Planning Committee. This meeting is being broadcast on WRPS Rockland and being recorded for playback at a future time. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and from the agenda, if we could go over the prior meeting's minutes. And let's start with the meeting from the 4th of February. Jeff?
Can I ask a question, Rich?
Yes.
Might it be possible in the future, could we send these out ahead of time? And then
Sure.
folks just read them and then we just ask if there's any, I've done, on some of the other committees, we do that. And
Okay.
I don't know, it just might make it a little more efficient. And that way we can kind of review ahead of time.
That's fine, we can do that. Jeff, you
At
muted?
the finance committee, we like to read through and pick at the Julie's mistakes.
I literally typed these at 4 o'clock. That's why nobody got a copy of them.
Oh, I hear you. I was just thinking it also saves us from kind of going through the minutes during the meeting. But
When it comes to capital planning, I know at some point Biz is going to request our minutes for the bank and bonding. They like a copy to verify that we did vote on the capital plan that they look at.
Yep.
All right, I'll go quick. Rich called the meeting to order at 7:05. We reviewed the minutes for the 1/28/21 meeting. Those minutes were approved. Dave Taylor was present that night as a guest on behalf of the Highway and Sewer Department, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
We went through his capital plan. I won't read the whole thing, but we talked about Chapter 90 roadwork projects, the Union Street projects, various other capital projects that he needed, the Ford F-550, the storage structure we discussed, the Gardner Street project, and we discussed the Spring Summer Beach project. And then he talked about cycling in new vehicles for, it says now removal, but it should be snow removal. Then with regards, what's that? Oh,
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm
Hey,
late.
Lauren.
Oh, hi, Lauren.
How's it going?
Hope you're feeling better today.
Yeah, I am for now.
Then he talked about major repairs needed for the inflow and infiltration remediation system, pump station replacements, second phase of the wastewater treatment plant, and a digester boiler. No other new business, and we adjourned at 8:05.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
What was that, Rich?
Can I have a to approve minutes?
You're breaking out a little bit, Rich. I don't know why.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
There's an echo. Could somebody, if you're not,
You got an echo, Rich, at least.
how is it now?
I think it's better now.
Okay,
The
can
only-
I have
the
a
only-
motion? Can I have
The
a-
only thing I know on the minutes,
Sure.
Jeff, I just noticed usually when you're doing the minutes, you usually list the members that are present and the ones that are absent.
Yep, they're up there.
Oh, you do have it up there up top. Sorry, never mind.
So could I
Make
have
it-
a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for February 4th.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, if we could go to the minutes for the meeting on the 11th.
All right, everybody was present. Rich called the meeting to order. Doug seconded. What did I write? I got a mistake there. Somebody made a motion. I think it was Joe. I gotta look at my notes. We gotta
You can
fix that.
change, yeah, change it.
Yeah.
Like I
Rich-
said, like I said, I don't think we're required to make a motion in a second and to open a meeting. We just open it, right, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I wouldn't worry about that. I agree.
Rich Furlong was there for representing the Parks Department, Liz Landy from the Town Clerk's Office, and Eugene Gingras from the Information Technology. Rich presented first, talked about the scoreboard for Veteran Stadium, the Reed's Pond project. Then Liz took the floor and discussed voting machines. And then Eugene discussed the phone system and how it was paid for by the CARES Act. And then he's expecting IT upgrades over the next 4 to 5 years. After that, no new business. And then we adjourned. Oh, wait, is there something below that? Or is that, oh, no, never mind. That's the other one.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of February 11th. If nobody has any questions.
Can I have a second?
I'll second. If I
All in
can.
favor?
Yeah,
Excellent. That's a
you
very,
can.
okay. We could. Now, Joe, if you could unmute and we'll mute everybody else and you can go ahead and we'll walk through your request.
Joe, do you want to just tell us a little about yourself? Because you're kind of new over at the water department, right? How long you been there? Oh, you're still muted, Joe. Joe, the point, you're still muted, I think.
Can we unmute him?
I don't know if we can do it. Rich might.
I'm trying. I muted him, so I'm trying to unmute him.
Well,
All I can do is ask him to unmute.
which bottom left on my computer. I don't know if it's the same as anybody else.
Oh. There you go,
Yeah.
Joe. I think you
There you are.
did it.
I think you're from, oh, you just muted again.
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
can hear
There
you
you go,
now.
Joe.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do it. I'm just holding the space bar down and I guess that did it. I don't know if it'll do it.
That will do it, yes.
The whole time, but
I think you're from Abington, right, Joe?
yes.
Yep.
Yep. Been with the water department for 28 years. Made out pretty good this year with the COVID and everything. We had to, change all,
So you were a member on the Abington side?
I grew up in
Oh,
Abington. I've lived in Abington all my life, but we went joint. I used to work for Abington Water. Then when we went joint probably 20 years ago, we all work together now.
Yeah.
So it's Abington Rockland Joint Water. It's not Abington Water, Rockland Water.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the COVID and everything, we had to change our treatment plant operations. We usually have 2 operators working. We'd have one guy in the plant at a time. They'd leave 10 minutes early for the next guy come in, thoroughly clean the plant. Same with the distribution crew, one man to a truck now instead of 2, just trying to keep our distances. Knock on wood, we've been pretty lucky. We've had 2 of the distribution guys were out with the COVID. One office employee, husband had it, so she quarantined for a couple of weeks, and one treatment person. But other than that, it's been going pretty good. So
Well, that's good.
All right.
on my capital plan, did you guys receive that from Biz?
Yep, I have which one do you want to start with first?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you got. You got the dump truck up there now.
Yep,
So this is to replace a 2001 International dump. A $75,000 with a like amount from the town of Abington. The truck will probably be around 140,000. And then we're We're putting chutes on the tailgate, tops and everything for the truck and everything. It's probably another 10 grand to outfit the truck. Over the last 2 years, I look back, we spent close to $10,000 repairing this 2001 truck. We also have a 2011 dump truck that we had purchased. Basically, that was from the town of Abington. But now going forward, everything we purchase is gonna be through joint water. So both towns, because we operate out of one building, everybody works in one town, whatever town they have to, if we have an issue. All this is coming out of water undesignated. I know last year, when I first took over, we didn't have much money in undesignated. We had to rearrange some articles to get our articles in for last year. This year, free cash got certified at over $800,000. So I think with the articles I have, it was 500 and something thousand. We will put, we're also trying to, at town meeting, set up a water stabilization fund, which we're gonna put $100,000 in this year. And then we'll still have, I think approximately 205,000 and still in the undesignated balance in case something comes up or whatever, after all the articles we're putting in.
Okay.
So, I don't know what you have for the second one up there.
I don't know if the other members here realize too, with the water and sewer, we're trying to switch over from undesignated
Yeah.
fund to a special.
Enterprise fund.
What do they call it?
Enterprise fund?
An enterprise fund,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're a special revenue now. Doug and Biz are putting in an article to switch everybody to enterprise fund. I don't know if you want to speak on that, Doug, or?
If you guys would like, I'm happy to talk about it. It's up to you. Reggie, just let me know if you want to get into that more. I mean, it doesn't affect any of the operations of the departments at all. As it relates to capital, it's a benefit to make the change to an enterprise fund because it lets them keep their retained earnings, essentially build it up so that they can afford to make these kinds of capital improvements like they're looking to do now. So it's just a more appropriate way to account for their revenues and to ensure that they keep them and that they don't get diverted to the general fund.
Okay. That's fine. So the next thing I had on here was the meter program.
Yep. Usually we do $50,000 a year on this. This year where we had the money, I try to up it to 75,000.
Okay. So we're gonna-
The meters are about $205 per setup. So it's still only getting us around 365 meters to replace out of, there's over 6,000 in each town. So each year we do some within the budget. And if we have money in the undesignated, we try to get ahead of it. They should be replaced every 10 to 15 years. So right now, basically we're replacing anything that's 15 to 20 just to catch up on what we have. So
we're doing 75,000 this year.
correct.
Are we gonna plan for 50,000 going forward every year?
Correct. I have every year, we had 50,000 each year up.
Are you still echoing there, Rich? I can hardly understand you.
Yeah, it's because of Joe. Joe's mic is that's why he before.
So we had the 50,000 for the rest, 23, 24, 25, and 26.
Yep.
So because you were saying that this is joint with Abington, did they put in a similar amount on
So
their
the
end?
meters, Abington, the meters is just a Rockland thing. In Abington, they do their meters.
Okay,
Like the dump truck shared by both towns, so that'd be a half and half. And I think the rest of the articles, the hydrant replacement's only 25,000. I know that's not supposed to be on the capital plan, but same with, so the backhoe is Rockland's. We got a backhoe for Abington. But like the filter pump upgrades, treatment plant upgrades, the dump truck, everything will be matching with Abington.
So the next thing I have on here is the treatment plant
Infrastructure.
upgrade.
Yep. So basically, over the last couple of years, we've had some major problems with the treatment plant. A couple times, the major 16-inch pipe that leaves the plant has broken underneath the plant, just due to age. Just the piping, all sorts of the monitoring equipment we want to upgrade. So I actually have 100,000 for the next 5 years in the capital plan for treatment plant upgrades. But all three treatment plants are going on 40, 50 years old now. You know, you'll see later on, I have filter and pump upgrades. But the treatment plant infrastructure itself would be bringing everything up to grade with, you know, now we can put pumps in that are SCADA monitored. Everything would be on the computer, the dosage, everything like that. Just to bring us up to speed with everybody else.
Okay, so this is a new article here that you're putting in.
Correct. Yep.
Now, is this, did you say that this was going to be something that's done every year?
Correct. And this is over 3 treatment plants, and it would be a match amount from Abington. So the final price would be 200,000 a year for each plant.
I would note three plants on that line, if you wanted the description. Just my opinion.
Yep.
Okay. The treatment plant filter upgrades.
Filter and pump upgrades, basically. I don't know if you want to add pumps there too, filter and pump upgrades. So each plant has 2 raw water pumps that take the raw water from the ponds and put it up into the filters. Both these pumps, like I said, are probably 40 years old. They've been worked on and stuff through the years. So we had one down our Pembroke plant, just casing split. So we're running off of 1 pump now. We use 2, so, alternate in case one, doesn't work or whatever. So we got our pricing on these pumps. The pump itself is $38,000. By the time you have a crane take it out, everything rewired with new variable speed frequency drives, which is energy efficient. The pump will run high when it's called for high, low when it's called for high. Basically, each pump, by the time you have it installed, it's $50,000. You get 2 raw water pumps in each plant and 2 finished water pumps in each plant. This would be a match from Abington, $100,000. So hopefully we can get all 4 done. And then that's just on for the 1 year this year.
So that's just the treatment plant filter and pump upgrades is just 1 year,
Correct.
and it's 50,000?
$100,000 from each town.
I'll take that off of next year. and the other years. Okay,
Don't forget the funding source on the infrastructure and upgrade on the plants.
last year they had said that we were probably gonna be needing a new water tank at some point.
Yeah, I think I put that off till 2024 right now.
Okay,
We just had everything, all our options laid out, whether we want to do 2 tanks, 1 tank. So we're kind of mulling over what we're gonna do up there on Rice Ave. So I don't think that's gonna be done in 2022 or 2023, to tell you the truth, so.
okay,
I
that's
I
fine.
moved it out a little bit to 24.
I'm good with pushing that out. Let's see. That's the infrastructure upgrade.
Ask a quick question.
Sure.
So in pushing that out and you were getting a little more information on your options, any pricing changes from last year that we should be reflecting? I think we were looking at the 3 million was like the fancy, I don't know, it was the bigger tank and
Yeah.
it had like glass lining or something, I remember.
Actually, it's 6 million because that's gonna be matched amount from Abington.
Right. But I mean, but that number is still a good number for us on this end.
I would say yes at this time.
Okay.
Last year, we had scheduled for this year, the geotube storage.
Yep.
Is that still gonna happen this year, or are we gonna,
We haven't got our permits from DEP to do that project, so that's not gonna happen this year.
so you wanna push that to next year?
Correct.
We also had treatment plant residual separation.
That's part of the geo storage tube,
Okay,
whole thing, so that's gonna be put off too. We haven't got our permits from DEP.
the finished water pumps.
That's in with the treatment plant pump upgrades this year.
Okay, so then that means that this one comes off.
Correct. Yep.
We talked about the dump truck, and there's $30,000 in here for a backhoe.
That's our lease payment, our 3rd-year lease payment on a 5-year lease for the backhoe.
Okay, so then we'll have one more payment next year as well then.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions for Joe?
We're missing a date on that treatment plant, filter and pump upgrade. I don't know when that was originally requested, but
The pump I requested last year, but then we upped it this year, so I would say it was this year requested.
Rich, also for the water plant infrastructure upgrade for all 3 plants, I think we need to update that total expenditure. And I was actually, I didn't fully follow this. So how much is that in total, Joe?
The water plant infrastructure upgrades for all 3 plants would be $100,000 from Abington and Rockland. But then it's gonna carry out for the 5 years.
For 5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
So 500,000 total.
Correct. $1 million by the time,
Right. For the boat.
also that's gonna carry out quite a few years then, all right.
yeah. DEP's coming out with some new regulations this year also. So that might, by next year, we might have to redo our filter system, go from sand filters to carbon filters. Everything's kind of up in the air. That's why I wanted to leave that upgrade, across the board, because I know what's coming down the road.
Joe, there was a question in the chat thing about the $30,000 backhoe. Is
Yeah.
that, when that lease expires, do we own it or do
Yes,
we
we-
start over?
We own it. Yep.
Okay.
We did this before, I'm gonna say 20 years ago. We had a 5-year lease and then we had the backhoe for another 15 years. And, I mean, we should get 20, 25 years out of this backhoe after, you know, breach time. So,
So we only need to carry that on our plan for this year, and then the year after, there would only be one $30,000 payment.
I think
left,
it's up in 23. I'm not,
right. It just that at that point we'll have
them all
less
on it.
than 50K left on that expense, so it could drop off the plan, I believe.
Yep.
So do we have any other questions for Joe? Could I have a motion to accept the changes that we've made?
So is that a total of 450 we're adding here that was on Doug's original sheet? I see 300 and 100 is new. And he didn't include any of the older, the stuff that already on the plan. Yeah,
Right.
it's was it 400 or 450 on your plan, Doug? I don't know. Am I missing something?
You're talking about Doug's original,
Yeah.
Okay, let me-
Um,
let me pull that up.
I had it here somewhere to myself. I see Chris's question out there about the truck lease, but, and I'm assuming this new stabilization fund we want to develop is so we can, or capital fund that you want to establish within the water department is so we can buy these outright and not have to get leases and pay the high interest on these things,
Exactly.
things like that.
Actually, the backhoe lease was, we just made set payments all 5 years.
Yeah, I can't find Doug's original list right here, but with the articles that Doug had sent us, there were the 4 new articles, which was the dump truck, the meter program, which went from 50,000 to 75,000, Joe.
Oh,
You had the infrastructure upgrades for 100,000. And the filter and pumps for 100,000. These are the 4 forms that we got this year that correspond to the upgrade here to the 75,000.
oh, okay, that's them, yeah.
This was 100,000, this was 100,000, this was 75,000. This was an ongoing lease payment, and this is a bond from last year for the water main road repairs.
All right, I'm fine. I'm sure Doug will make sure that the articles are in order when they go to draft them.
So that bond, the 40,000, I believe that's in my budget. So should that be on that?
It was
I think
original,
yes, because we put it in here. It was a project for originally $200,000. So
So now I think they rolled that into my debt and interest in my budget now.
I think even though it's a capital project, no matter where the funding comes from, it still should be in the capital plan. But that's what I've always been told.
Okay.
I mean, there was probably an
Even if it's a
initial-
grant or something.
Yeah, there was probably an initial vote for a $200,000 project like Joe.
Yeah, there was.
saying. So, and I agree with Joe. I think regardless of whether it's in your budget or it's separate appropriations each year, it's probably good to keep it on the capital plan because it was a $200,000, capital.
Especially where it's still built into our debt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Your
good.
debt, I should say.
Okay, so can I have a motion to accept the changes that we made to the water department's capital plan?
I'll make a motion to accept the changes to the capital plan for the water department as reviewed and specified.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Okay. I'm assuming that was a hand I saw raised, right, Chris?
He's gonna text, he'll send a chat, yes.
Technically, just so you guys know, everything's supposed to be roll call votes on Zoom, just so you know. If you want to follow
Okay.
the law.
What do you mean, what do you mean by that?
In other words,
You're
Joe,
supposed to call on each person individually.
Oh, you're supposed to call each person individually?
Yeah.
so Joe, yes?
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Lauren, Chris,
Unmute, kiddo. Yes.
okay. That is a vote. All right, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Joe.
We'll see you next year.
Thanks,
All
Joe.
righty.
Joe.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Lapp. I'm hoping you can help us finish just about everybody except for the school department.
Actually, I can probably even do the school department too, because they don't have anything new. All they're doing is the $100,000 for technology, which they do every year, and then continuing their prior lease payments for the sped vans for their vehicles. They have nothing else new. I confirmed that with Jane Hackett yesterday.
100.
Okay. And the school has already started, correct?
Started what?
As far as the $86 million for the school, the bond and the MSBA grant, that started last year, correct?
Right. So, I mean, construction hasn't physically started, but you know, the design, we're going out to bid now. We have done an initial borrowing. So if
So
that's
as
what
far as having this on the plan and continuing it along,
So was that bond pay, did we pay anything on the bond last year? Or
um,
is the first payment due this year?
you know what I'll do? I'll get you like the actual schedule. I have a real cash flow schedule that I can send you that might make it
So
easier.
you're saying our 1.682, whatever that odd number is, that
that's
think
what
we-
it was, that's what we were given last year to use.
I think what'd we do? Take the 86 million and divide it over 20 years or whatever?
I
I don't
No,
have
Biz gave me the number.
Oh, okay.
So this is probably a good number, but I can check and see if I have an update for you.
Okay,
Alright.
so let's start with the library. Did they do their historic windows last year?
That, we went out to bid. We have a contractor that we've awarded the contract to, and they're in the process now of ordering all the materials. We're reviewing the submittals, et cetera. So they haven't physically begun work. We haven't paid any bills yet, but the contractor is ordering all the materials now.
And it was approved at town meeting last year
Yes.
for capital, for CPA to go ahead and do that, right?
Correct. Yep, contract's awarded, it's underway.
And we have insulation for the domes and sides in 2023. Is that when we think we're still gonna do
Jeez.
that?
You know what? I don't know anything about that. I thought the dome was all set, to be honest. So that one, I don't know.
We can just,
I'd
It's
leave
out
it there
another
for
year.
now. Yeah,
we could leave it there or push it out a year or just wait and, because.
Why don't we leave it there and we'll take it up next year and we'll find out what we
Yeah.
need to do.
Sounds
Yeah.
good, and then the windows can come off because it's gonna disappear when you.
Well,
get
it'll
rid of that.
disappear when I hide that column.
Correct, okay.
can I
Again,
just, wait, Rich, can I just ask, column S, what fiscal year is that?
column S is 2021.
It was
Okay,
last
was-
year, we just
Right.
using a
It was
reference.
the current fiscal year. So I have that on here just so that because some of these articles weren't voted in last year, they were dropped or they were cut.
Yep.
So if
oh, that's fine, I couldn't see the heading, so I was just asking.
Yeah. It's 2021.
So
Gotcha.
it's gonna, yeah, it'll disappear.
So once I make the plan final, this will go away and we'll have 22 through 26. Okay, so the next question I had for you was the Reed Pond land grab.
Did you say land grab?
Yeah.
We're not
Land-
taking it. We're not taking it by eminent domain. We're going to
Well,
buy it. So
Yeah.
The land purchase.
yeah,
I guess
purchase.
it's being
Yep.
held up.
So this is what I would say. I had a conversation with Peter Yule about it today. What I'd like to do is submit a CPA application and have it on the warrant. What we're waiting for, we know we want to do it. We have an appraisal, but we're waiting on the title search because I'm not convinced there's going to be good, clean title that's going to make the acquisition easy. So I'd still like to have it on the warrant that gives us the authority to do it. And if the title's clean and legal says that it's safe to do, then we can proceed. But if the title is muddy and we don't think we can do it, then we don't do it. You know, the town meeting just gives us the authorization, not a requirement. So the maximum amount that we would pay based on the appraisal is $50,000. And I would like to add an extra $5,000 for potential closing costs and other just associated, you know, legal fees, et cetera. So I would round it up to 55,000 and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay, because we had 225,000.
Yeah, look how much we saved. we did an appraisal, you know, I mean, we did an appraisal. I don't remember where the 225 came from, but 55 will cover it.
Okay. So assuming that we do that this year, then we're assuming that the development will still happen we'll put in for the development of that next
Sure.
in 2023.
Yep. And that number is a real guess, I think. Was that 200,000 or what does that say there?
Yeah, that's 200,000.
Yeah. So that's a real, you know, I mean, that's fine for now, but I don't have any hard estimates on that.
Okay.
We can go over that next year, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I had asked Derek if he had any articles, and Derek didn't have any articles, but this was kind of one of those that was,
Yep.
In-
Hanging out
because-
there.
and I just want to make sure we had it. Did you do the sprinklers last year for the community center?
That we're actually paying that bill like this week. They just finished.
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
So that's done.
the elevator replacement and exterior building repairs were scheduled for 2022. Are we going to push those out?
Push it out. Yep. And I'm going to just say generally, the community center as a whole, you know, there's going to be some significant building, facility, program, capital discussions, you know, happening over the next 6 months to a year, because we're really kind of getting to a fork in the road with that building where we're going to have to make some important decisions about, you know, investing a lot of money or doing things differently. So, you know, we did the feasibility study, which I think I sent you guys. If not, let me know. I can send it to you. So for now, push those off, but, you know, we're reassessing exactly what our game plan is going to be for the building, because frankly, it needs more than those two items.
Right.
I forget, does the idea of having the combination community center slash fire department, is that still a thought, or has that been wiped off the table?
Well, I know that was discussed at the Lincoln School site, I believe. Personally, I think everything is on the table right now. I don't know that anything's really been completely ruled out. As it relates to a fire station, what we're doing right now is we are going to be hiring a consultant to do a response time analysis to help us figure out if we really only need that one central station in town, or if we actually need a second substation in another part of town to help with response times, especially given the growth that we're seeing in the northeastern part of town. So that's going to kind of dictate things. So for example, if the study comes back and says, we absolutely need a second, you know, small substation, you know, up off of Hingham Street, let's say, but we can get by with our current headquarters, we just have to renovate it. Well, then that question's answered. There'd be no combination with the community center. But if they say, oh no, you really don't need a second substation, you can get by with one newer, headquarters, well, then maybe that idea of combining could still work somewhere. So
Wouldn't the location be a big factor in that as well?
absolutely, yep, absolutely,
Which still is going to be an issue where
yep, absolutely. So I
I
wouldn't
still
rule
think
it out. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the Lincoln School would have been a perfect spot, and it was so close to the old one. It wouldn't have changed the response time to have to go to two different stations myself, but
Yeah, well,
I
I don't
can't
think
think
that's off
of
the
any.
table. I don't think that's off the table yet, you know.
Oh,
The
good,
other
good.
site, the other site that the chief was looking at was what used to be the Rite Aid down at the end of Union Street. It's now, is it a Dollar Tree or Dollar Store? I can't remember.
Yeah,
We've reached out to them extensively, the owners, and they're not interested in selling. So
Okay.
that site's really not available. So that's where we're at with that.
So at this point, there's no other sites other than the Lincoln right now that or even that would work to keep one station
Right, I
without
think you're right,
response time being affected.
right. I think that's right, Joe.
Okay, so the next thing is, I know Recreation has their Heart Stuff usage plan
Yep,
that they're reviewing that they got last year, so they're reviewing that. So we really don't know we don't have any articles this year for Recreation
correct.
as far as what to do with the plan, so we're gonna be looking at that like next year then.
Yeah, sure. Could be next year or the year after. Yep.
Okay. And then you had the 155,000 to finish the recycling center road repairs, correct?
I think the updated number is 120,000. If you look at the forms, I think there was a form from either Board of Health or Highway, and I believe it was 120. If not, 120 is the number. It might have been listed under Board of Health.
I don't see it. I
Yeah,
may have it on,
BOH.
oh, BOH, yep, there it is. Yep, 120.
Oh, is that for the to complete the road up there? I mean,
Yeah, to put the finished
Yeah.
coat on the road
I
on the recycling center.
yeah, I know Delshaw's going to be using anything that's over that is coming out of her revolving fund, she said. She already anticipates using some money from the revolving fund.
All right, so you said that the school department, you spoke to them and they only have the $100,000 for the new computers?
100,000 for the new computers, as well as, I think there were maybe a couple leases that were previously approved, like the last year of some vehicle leases, maybe the sped vans. The dollar amount I have from Biz is, it's a total of only $51,036 for their leases,
Okay,
vehicle leases.
Versus the 70,000 we have?
Must be, yep.
Okay.
um,
And is that only going out till 2023, 24?
I'll have to check. I'm not sure. I think what happened is some of the prior leases may have been completed or expired, so that might be
Oh,
why it's gone down.
We touched on it briefly yesterday. I mean,
Right, right.
so and then the only other thing that they had on their plan was they were gonna look at paving Eston.
I
It's
pushed
true.
that off because they definitely have no new articles for this year. So I think you could just push that off a year.
Okay,
quick question on the recreation center down below. That's 68,000, Rich, you gotta scroll. Is it 63.8? Is that coming off or is that getting pushed out?
no, that they got that last year. That's the
They
usage
did,
plan
okay,
that they're
okay.
currently reviewing.
So it's coming off, okay.
As a side note to that, guys, you may, if you subscribe to, some of the website things, the Recreation Department just pushed out a survey link. So that's related to that study. So they want community input to get the public's input on the park and your ideas and thoughts so they can incorporate that into the plan. So you'll see a link on the website if you didn't get the.
I got a text on it with a link.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, there was also an email, and I think it's all over social media too.
There you go. Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
Already filled it
Good,
out.
good. Yeah, she was really pushing to hear back from people, and if you want to pass it on to anybody, you can do it.
Okay. So that basically covers everything. And
So, Rich, can I ask you a question about that? I didn't mean to
Yes.
interrupt you. I know that last year, I think I may have missed one or two things. So if I just like read down my list, can I make sure everything on my list is on the plan? So I don't miss anything?
sure,
All right. So I know we just did the recycling road, so that's a check. I have the last year of the fire department lease purchase of their command vehicle. Command, yeah, I see it there. You have it at 65,000 under column S, so that's fine. We're just making a second payment on that.
but so that's in 2022?
I mean, that's just the last payment for it in 22.
Okay,
So it's not a new vehicle. It's the one that we previously, voted. It's just a payment for it. So you have it on the plan, so I think that's fine.
right, but that's in 2021. I didn't have an article in 2022.
Right. So it's the same vehicle. It's just, we're just going to be making the payment.
So the payment's gonna be made in 2022, not 2021?
Well, it was a lease purchase. So it was one payment in 21 and then another payment in 22. It's both.
Okay,
Paying
it was a
both.
$120,000 car?
No, I think it was, no. No, this is only, I'm saying it's 22,000 is the payment.
Okay, 22,000 I don't need to put on the plan.
I think we're good. I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
If it's, the total cost was more than 20,000, but the last payment's 20, it should be there.
Right. So for new things, so we have a highway dump truck for 75,000.
Highway dump truck for 75,000.
Yep. And then highway, Gardner and Pine Haven repaving for 180.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
All right. And then spring highway, spring summer Beach Street, 200,000. We're going to split this up. He requested 600,000. We're going to try to split it up 200 a year. So 222, 223, and 224.
Okay,
That's our plan. If you want to split it up that way. Basically, just because we don't have enough money to do it all at once. And then the police are going to do 2 new cruisers.
do you have the highways 400,000 for their chapter 11 road repairs, or do you not need that?
I don't have that as a new, so how are they paying? Oh, that's chapter 90. I don't worry about that because that's a state funding source. My list is really what I need to fund out of free cash. So I'm
Okay.
okay with that. That's fine.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's good. Two police cruisers for 96,000.
That's a
They had
new,
98, but that's fine.
Okay.
so the Beach Spring Street is both, the dates on those are this year for the request, and
That's going to be
It's
We're gonna do that
starting
with-
this year and going for 3 years, you said, Joe.
right.
no, but you have no dates as to when it was requested and when it's going through. That's all. Both 2022, right?
I mean, Dave requested the whole 600,000 in FY22, but I'm just saying I don't have enough money to do it all. So that's why we're just going to spread it out. All right.
He doesn't have a problem with splitting it over 3 years then? Oh,
I mean, it's better that, I mean, he'll take what he can get, I mean, he can make it work, basically.
yeah, you get started with
Yeah, he can
200.
make it work, yeah. Police department roof. I want to bump that up just a little bit to 120. We have to go out to bid anyways, so all this is a shot in the dark, but I think that 117 was a little too precise. And then the town, do you have for town clerk, this is something that we're still evaluating, but let's put it on the plan. Election machines, election tabulators. So
Yeah,
this
we
is,
actually put those out till next year.
so just for now, because we're still evaluating whether we're gonna do it, but for now, I do have it in as an article for this year for $36,800.
Okay, I don't, if it's 36,000, it's below the 50, so it doesn't have to
Alright.
go on the plan.
So I forget
I
it.
think there were two items. I think one was almost like an iPad, maybe like registration, which was much less money. And then I believe the actual voting machines were over 50,000.
Yeah, the latest quote we just got from the clerk's office was 36,800 for the machines, so.
Yeah,
I
the
don't have
price
the
had come
detail.
down quite a bit, she said last week.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think we
Right.
left it on with the 50,000 for next year in case it went up, drastically because of supply and demand or something crazy over the next year. But
I'd say leave it the way you have it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that makes sense, Doug.
Yeah,
Doug.
just leave it. And if we get them sooner at lower cost, you can take it off. We did the school, and then you just did Joe Lapointe, so I think you have his. And then sewer has some, but they're not, I don't think these are finalized, the sewer
We
one.
did talk to Dave last week.
So you got, what do you have there? You got 100 for I&I, right?
Yeah,
And then 100 for a pump station, right?
Yep,
And then you got 300 for a study.
and 100 for the digester boiler.
Yeah, and see, I don't even have the digester boiler, but I also have another 38.5. Oh, that's under for 50, so you don't care about that. All right, so that's fine. I'd rather have something on your list that's not on mine, just to cover it in case it's something I end up doing. So I think we are good. I think we're good.
Okay,
so we're do you still have a schedule to meet with the schools, or do we just pretty much settled up here with the schools?
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just reach out to Jean Hackett. I think it's her name, and just go over it with her to make sure that she didn't have anything that she didn't know about, and then,
That she agrees with what we have, okay.
yeah, make sure she agrees with what we have and what Doug had just mentioned. And then we'll call it a day on the schools, and then next week we'll meet to do scoring if that is the case.
That's good, because I assume you saw my message that. the
Yes,
finance
I know.
committee-
Finance wants to
It
meet
should-
us by the 10th.
They're itching to approve that and make sure that everything on our plan, because they go through every article as well and want to make sure every article's on our plan. Which is Doug's doing that anyway here too.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, but I see it on the plan, the town capital projects for 75,000. So that's,
Yep,
I think
I have that.
we're all set.
Okay, can I have a motion to,
I have a question still, though.
okay,
And I think Chris, was it you said that you heard back from Derek at the CPA? I find it hard to believe he has nothing this year.
I was saying, I thought you had said that he had.
no, I had said.
No, I
it,
said
but
I had a
that's okay.
question, but
I had reached out to Derek, and Derek said that they didn't have anything this year.
so they're not presenting any articles at all, huh? For,
Yeah, I don't know that they've received any applications.
Doug, we
Wow.
should see if we can get in and get the fencing done for Spring Street.
somebody's gonna run it over first, right?
yeah, let's definitely connect on that.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the modifications that Doug has provided us for the miscellaneous departments?
Motion.
I have a
I got a
motion. Do I have a
Got a-
second?
I don't know if Chris
Okay,
has got a
Joe.
question or if he's making a motion.
No, I think he was making a motion, correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris?
I'll second it if nobody did.
Wait, who made the motion?
Chris made the motion.
Oh, all right.
Joe seconded the motion. And now we'll do the roll call vote. Jeff,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Lauren,
Yep.
Doug,
Yes.
Chris.
Aye.
And it's a yes for me, so that's a vote.
Chris, what are you all slouched over, ready to fall asleep there?
No, I'm just.
You look like you're practically laying
Downstairs,
down.
I have the kids and the family around me, so
Oh, you look like you're ready to lay down.
I am slightly.
Do we have any new business to discuss for the committee?
No, I think we've all done a great job here. I think we've wrapped this up as quicker than we usually do, and I think it's just gonna be the scoring is gonna be an issue. Hopefully we'll go through as quick.
Can I mention something real quick, Rich?
Sure.
I just want to give you guys credit for the capital plan. When we did the first borrowing for the school construction project, I think it was Standard & Poor's that we had to have the credit rating, and I'm sure some of you guys have been through that before, but it's like a big deal, you know. I mean, they don't mess around. They ask for a lot of information, and these guys do this stuff all over the country. One of the pieces of information we have to provide them is the capital plan, and they were very impressed with, you know, not just the substance behind it, but just the way you guys present it, the way it's put together and organized. So it's just well done. And that's not just coming from me, that's coming from the rating agency. So it was very helpful. So
Well, that's good. I
pass on
appreciate
some
that,
positive
Doug.
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's why I said, I think sometimes they ask for the minutes to back up that we approved that.
Yeah, I think like bond council does, yeah,
Yeah,
especially.
the
Yeah.
art, it's a bond council, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I had to sign off something for Eastern Bank once.
Yeah, I know.
Verifying the minutes were okay and right.
Okay, can I
That's
have a
it, that's
motion
it.
can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
So move, oh, second.
Okay.
Jeff,
Aye.
Aye,
Joe,
aye.
Lauren,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Chris?
You betcha.
Well, I thank you very much, and that'll conclude the meeting for February 19th. Thank you.
18th.
Hey, I got a question. Anybody out there know how to prepare tax